else, or we're looking at another sister. And this happens in the world, this happens in church, it happens everywhere. But when we learn to operate in our assignment, we fulfill the purpose, and God will give us the fulfillment that we are looking for in other spaces that really are not going to even fulfill us, because that's not our assignment. When we are operating in our assignment, we are automatically operating in our purpose from God. God has strategically and specifically placed you in the place that you're in the spaces that you are in. And I'm having to take this personal now myself. So when I'm talking to y'all, sis, remember, this is a conversation we're both having. But we have got to learn to operate in our assignments. We're ready to move on to something else, or we're looking at another sister and where there are, or other things. This happens in the world, this happens in church, it happens everywhere. But when we learn to operate in our assignment, we fulfill the purpose, and God will give us the fulfillment that we are looking for in other spaces that really are not going to even fulfill us, because that's not our assignment. So I really want us to grasp that concept. And here's, I think, a first step for us to really see and sit with this as we daily operate. Now, I want to give y'all practical tips, remember? So right here in Proverbs 31, our sister, our model sister, she was out here doing it. So we need to look up to her, big sis, so she can give us some tips. And here she says right here, in where it talks about her in verse 18 of Proverbs 31. And it says, she makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. We can look at that in many ways, but if we're specifically even just talking about character, she's not out here dilly-dabbling in all kind of stuff. She's not all over the place. Of course, I'm not saying experience and explore things to see what your niche is or anything, but I would really dare us to look and to pray about where God has strategically placed us right now and what it is he wants us to do in this space, in this season. So I'm literally talking about in your family. He strategically gave you that family, the place that you operate in every day, whether that's at work, whether that's places you go to every day. If you're a business owner, you're operating in different spaces every day. Your neighborhoods, your kids' school, stores that you go to all the time, people that you encounter on the street. You may see them more than once. I'm just saying, the space that God has us in, it's intentional. And when we learn to operate in those spaces fully for him, oh my gosh, the profits will be beyond our understanding, and even more than we can really bear, because he wants us to be able to flow that out to other people. You know what I mean? So I really wonder, what kind of profits are you seeing? And have you even stopped to assess it? Now, here's what we want to do practically. It's also in here where it says how her lamp burns late into the night. She's not somebody who just does something and goes on. I really see this lady as a character of assessing her day. She assessed what she encountered that day, who influenced her, who did she influence, and that makes her profitable. Of course, she's doing dealings, and I truly believe this as well, ladies. We are our own brand. Now, we're branded, of course, by God, but he specifically has us, once again, in a space. You are a walking brand. We are all influencers. We are the influencers, and we're supposed to be the influencers of the world. God's daughters, God's people, God's Christians are supposed to be the influencers of the world. But we gotta stop running from that and not letting the world put the standard on it. So I'm curious about us as women, practically, how often do you sit at night and assess how your day went? Who you encountered? Who encountered you? How did they encounter you? How did you encounter them? Where were the spaces that you showed up at? Has these been spaces that you've shown up at multiple times? That's a reason. So I really want us to practically look at those things. Take at least 15 to 30 minutes to start it with. Because I believe with us women, this is what we're talking about right now. It's very important that we truly, truly stop. Literally, I'm serious when I say pause the grind, plug into God, and pamper yourself. You don't know what needs pampering. You don't know what needs self-care if you have not stopped to check in with self. Self doesn't know what it needs until it checks in with the creator who created self. That's God. So I don't want us to keep putting agendas on our plate, agendas on our checklist, events that are, yes, rejuvenating. I'm not saying I'm out here getting my nails done. I take time for myself. But I'm learning that it has to be intentional. We're going to talk about that in a whole nother video. We're going to dive into that later on and some other stuff. But literally, take time out every evening to assess how your daily dealings went. We got to find, you gotta know me by now. Or if you're new to this channel, subscribe and you're going to see. Like, we got to come up with some stuff. You know, keep life interesting. You know, some catchy phrases to remember stuff. But in all seriousness, I'm gonna read it again. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. We're gonna talk about this soon in other practical ways, but for step 1, I want you to stop in the evening. If it hadn't gotten done, it's not gonna get done. You prolong in the evening, pause the grind, plug into God. Pimp yourself, girl. 15 to 30 minutes by yourself. Assess your day. Get a sheet of paper, get a journal, get a notebook. Get something and write it down and spend time with that in prayer. Ask God to reveal to you what was the intention behind your dealings that day. Sit with that. Pray about it. And I challenge you to do that for the rest of this week. Or if you're seeing this later on and we've already started it, I challenge you to do that for 7 days. If you stop, don't. Don't stop. Stop. Start back up again. Grow with grace. You can always get back up again, as long as you do it. All right, I'll check in the next video.